Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily. This is Gulliver. And today we are going to be doing a shorter sequence. It's going to be focusing on stretching, getting us ready for hanumanasana, the splits. And yeah, so if you have blocks with you, I would highly encourage using them. It's always nice to have that extra support. If you don't have yoga blocks, that's fine. You can also use pillows or board games or really anything that you don't mind sitting on, towels that you stack up, whatever. Just some things so that you can have a little bit more support if you need. All right, you're not gonna do the splits, so you can go and nap somewhere. All right, so with that being said, we're going to get started in child's pose. You can make your way there. Let's just hope Gulliver gets the message. All right, so knees wide apart, big toes together, and then let's go ahead and rest the forehead down on the mat. So you can start to breathe in and out of your nose, just finding a few moments to ground yourself here. And so even though we're not really going to be moving that much one breath through movement, we're going to be holding shapes a little bit longer. Your breath is still vitally important. So try to keep breathing very deeply and notice how you can use your breath to help you go deeper into poses, to help you find more comfort in different poses. And let's take 3 more breaths here. And then you can slowly make your way up to tabletop, stacking your shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Let's go ahead and move in a few rounds of cat and cow. So breathing in, dropping the belly, pulling the chest forward, exhaling to round your spine. And inhale to open, exhaling to round. And feel free to add any other movement, maybe side to side with the hips or movement in the wrist, whatever feels good. On your next inhale, you can make your way to a neutral spine. Let's extend the right leg back. Just roll out your right ankle in one direction and the other. Now left arm can reach forward, breathe in. Exhale as round knee to nose for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale to extend. Now let's bend the right knee. Left hand reaches back and holds onto the top of the right foot. Now use your back muscles to open up this shape a little bit more. So squeezing the glute, kicking up, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lifting out of your right shoulder. And slowly releasing. Let's extend right leg back, left arm forward. Exhale, left hand comes down on the mat. Now the right knee to the right shoulder. And then let's step the right foot on the outside of the right hand. Here we're going to pull the hips down and forward. Let's stay on the hands, so either palms of the hands or fingertips, or even on a block to get a little bit more lift. Whatever you decide. And so here we're trying to stretch the front of the left hip, open up the right hip a little bit more, but making sure we're not overstretching the front of the left hip, so keeping the glutes very engaged. Now either on the mat or on blocks, let's come down to the elbows. So if you can't reach the floor or if your spine's rounding too much with the elbows on the mat, try lifting them up a little higher, maybe on blocks or whatever you have. And making sure both legs are still engaged here. We're always trying to stretch actively, so not just pulling and yanking and going deeply into the stretch. We're trying to stay active in every shape that we take. And now from here, let's tuck the left toes. See if you can lift your left knee off the mat. And let's stay here, runner's lunge. And so we're pushing down into the mat with the right foot, kind of pushing the mat away from you with your left toes. And now from here, let's come back onto the hands, and then we're going to pivot into Skandasana, side lunge. And now if the heel doesn't reach the floor, that's fine. You can place it on a block. You don't have to have your hips that close to the ground either, or you can even just stay on your right toes. And from here, right arm reaches underneath the right knee. Let's twist open, left arm reaches up. Make sure you're engaging your left thigh. Either stay here or let's bind around the right knee and open up the chest. And on your next exhale, let's unwind, come into a lunge. Deep breath in to lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale to straighten the right leg, pyramid pose. Hands can always come to blocks. So let's start by bringing the weight in the left foot a little bit more, lifting the right toes, maybe flexing them if that's accessible. Let's take 5 breaths here. And you're still pulling the right hip back, reaching through the crown of the head, lengthening your spine. And now for the next 5 breaths, let's tip forward. So dropping the right toes, lifting the left heel. 5 more breaths here. Noticing if there's any difference in the stretch. And now from here, let's bend the right knee, rise up, crescent lunge. Inhale here, exhale, drop your left knee, half splits, airplane wings. If your legs are too close together, you can always slide your right foot forward. Breathe in, crescent lunge. Exhale, half splits, airplane wings. And so inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, half splits, airplane wings, keeping the arms in the air so that you're forced to stay active. But of course, if you're uncomfortable, you can always bring them down. Let's do one more. And now let's step up, left knee into the chest. All right, so let's interlace the hands around the left knee and trying to remain completely straight with your body. Lift your left knee up as high as you can. And from here, release. Let's step back. Plant your hands down on the mat, frame your right foot. And then let's step back, 3-legged dog, right leg in the air. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's drop both knees down on the mat, tabletop. Left leg extends, right arm reaches forward. Exhale, knee to nose for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale to lengthen, bend your left knee, right hand reaches back for the top of the left foot, gently kick back and up. So we're just trying to activate the muscles in the back of the left leg. You might feel the thigh as well. And from here, gently release, kick your left leg back, right arm forward. And then let's drop the right hand underneath the right shoulder. Left knee towards the left shoulder. Step your left foot on the outside of your left hand. Let's drop the hips, lift the chest, stay on your hands or fingertips or block. And remember to stay very connected to your breath, breathing deeply in and out of your nose. Maybe even engaging Ujjayi breath to create more internal heat. And now from here, let's come onto the elbows. Now again, if you feel like your spine is rounding too much, you can always come onto blocks. And keep squeezing the right glute and the left. From here, let's tuck the right toes. We're lifting the right knee off the mat. And hold. Super strong legs. And in your own time, both hands can walk underneath your shoulders, lift the chest, and then pivot on your right heel, Skandasana, side lunge. Okay, keep opening up your left hip by pressing the left knee away from you. Hands can stay at the heart space. And then open twist, left arm reaches underneath the left knee, right arm reaches up. Either stay here or let's wrap around the left leg. Keep opening the chest. I know it's a little bit unbalanced here, so just try your best to keep everything tight. On your next inhale, let's open up the arms. Exhale, pivot into a lunge facing the top of your mat. Breathe in to lengthen your spine. Exhale to straighten your left leg. Plant the right heel, flex the left toes. And keep lengthening your spine and pulling the hips back and up, reaching the crown of the head forward and folding over your left leg if you want to stretch a little more and go deeper. 3 more breaths. Now from here, let's switch. Ground your left toes, lift your right heel, and fold. All right, now I'm going to bend left knee and slowly rise up, bending the right knee a little bit as well. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, half splits, airplane wings. Now, if you find that your legs are too close, you can slide that left foot forward. Crescent lunge, inhale. Exhale, half splits, airplane wings. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, half splits, airplane wings. 2 more. Last one. And then let's step up, right knee into the chest. Interlace your hands around the right knee. Lift it up as high as you can into your chest. Keep growing nice and tall. Pulling the shoulders back and down for 3. And slowly step back, plant your hands. 3-legged dog, left leg reaches up high. Exhale, downward facing dog. And now let's walk the hands all the way back to the feet. We're going to keep the feet hip-width distance apart. Let's bend the knees a little bit so that stomach connects to your thighs. And then wrap your arms behind your legs, grabbing opposite hand to opposite elbow. And then from here, let's start to straighten the legs. So if this is your max, you can stay here. Or trying to keep that connection, stomach to thighs, slowly straightening your legs. Continuing to reach the crown of the head down towards the toes, pulling the shoulders away from the ears. 5 deep breaths. And feeling that stretch, hopefully in the hamstrings. All right, slowly releasing the hands down on the mat. Let's lift the right leg up high, standing splits. Flex your right toes, exhale, right toes taps right wrist for 3. Lift up as high as you can, 2, and 1. Standing splits, inhale, hold. Let's walk the hands forward, 3-legged dog. Okay, right leg is high up in the air. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Crescent lunge, inhale. Exhale, half splits, airplane wings. Inhale, hanumanasana, so keeping your left knee in the air. Reach your arms up. Exhale, left hand comes down on the floor, right arm reaches up to the sky. Either stay here or right arm reaches back, bend your left knee and hold on to the outer blade of your left foot. 5 breaths here. Keep opening the chest to the right, twisting your upper body. And if you want, you can bend your right elbow, pulling the left foot a little bit closer to your glutes. 2 more breaths. And slowly, let's release the left toes, tuck them, come back to half split, straightening the right leg, reach your arms back and up. Inhale, stand up tall, left knee into the chest. Let's interlace the hands around the left knee. Now this time, the left peace fingers can wrap around the left big toe, right hand on the right hip. Either stay here and just work on standing nice and straight, or maybe start to straighten your legs. So you can keep it pretty bent, just making sure that your shoulders stay in one line. If you manage to keep your shoulders in one line and you have a little bit more space to go, maybe straighten your left leg. Let's hold for 5. And so a lot of work from that right leg. Now from here, let's open up the hips if that feels okay. Keeping both hips pointing towards the top of the mat. Left leg reaches out to the left. Let's slowly come back through center. If you're comfortable, maybe both hands hold somewhere underneath the left leg, point the toes, and let's try to lift that left leg up as high as you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, arms reach up. Exhale, step back, lunge, hands find the floor. Frame your right foot. 3-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now both hands walk all the way back to the feet once again. Peace fingers wrap around the big toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the elbows out to the sides and fold. Slowly, let's release the bind. Hands can come down on the mat. Left leg rises, standing splits, lift it up as high as you can. Flex your left toes tap the left wrist for 3, 2, and 1. Standing splits. Walk your hands forward, 3-legged dog. Exhale, left foot steps between your hands. Crescent lunge, rise up. Exhale, drop the right knee, half splits, airplane wings. Now let's keep the right knee on the floor. Inhale, Anjanasana. Exhale, the right hand can come down to the mat or to a block. Left arm reaches up high. And then maybe bend your right knee. Left hand reaches back for the top of the right foot. And then gently start to pull it a little closer to your body. Keep opening up the chest. You should feel a deep stretch in the front of your right thigh. 3 more breaths here. And slowly, let's release the right foot, tuck the right toes. Make your way back into half splits, airplane wings. Inhale, stand up tall, right knee into the chest. Interlace your hands around your right knee. Now, peace fingers of the right hand can wrap around the right big toe. Take this at your own pace, sorry. If it takes you longer to sit up, that's no problem. If you're already there, then good for you. And let's straighten that right leg, keeping both shoulders in one line. Making sure that you're also keeping a point of focus, drishti, somewhere in front of you that is not moving, preferably. All right, let's open up the hip if that feels okay. And hold. And now slowly coming back through center, both hands interlace behind the right leg. Point the toes. You can stay there or maybe lift that right leg up higher. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, arms reach up. Exhale, step it back, lunge. Hands find the floor, frame your left foot. 3-legged dog, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's walk all the way up to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale, high mountain. Exhale, hands to the heart space. All right, we're going to step the left foot way back. So slow motion. And then let's come into star pose. So both toes turn out, heels point in. Exhale, let's squat once. Hands can come on your knees, thumbs point in. Place all your weight on your hands. Let's drop the right shoulder down, look over the left shoulder. And on your next inhale, come back through center and then drop your left shoulder, look over the right. Inhale, let's come back through center, star pose. Now let's turn the toes in, heels out, hinge at the hips, and fold. All right, let's take a halfway lift. And then you're just going to walk your hands over the right leg. So both hands can kind of wrap around your right leg. And we're just folding towards the right leg. So most likely you're going to be feeling this in the right leg way more than the left. And then let's slowly walk both hands back through center and then over towards the left leg. And now we're going to pivot 180 degrees to the right. So walking your hands back through center, pivoting on the feet so your feet do not move, they stay in the same space. Pivoting 180 degrees. So you're facing the other long side of the mat and you're on the outer blades of your feet. Good. Now let's bring the weight into your fingertips, bend both knees very slowly, and then sit between your heels, shoelace. So the right knee is crossed over the left. Make sure you're comfortable, make sure both sit bones are grounded. Let's take a deep breath in, lengthening the spine, and then exhale. Either you decide to stay here or you can fold forward, maybe connecting the forehead to your right knee. Two more breaths here. And let's slowly straighten the spine again. Now we're going to look towards the top of the mat. Use your hands to help lift your hips and then pivot into a little lunge. So the right leg is in front of you, left leg is behind. And now we're going to slowly make our way into full split. So if you have your blocks nearby, I highly encourage you to use them. Again, there's no ego here, just use all the support you need. Even if you think that you don't need it, just use it in the beginning. You can always remove it later. So you can slowly start to either kind of just rock back and forth between a lunge and a half split, not rushing into the full splits at all. The blocks, you can either use them under your hands at any level, or what I like to do is I stack them and I will sit. My right glute will be on the block, just to get all that support. So once you feel ready, you can slowly start to slide. And then you're sitting on the block, so you're completely supported here. But for me, I do not feel any stretch here. So I'm going to remove a block, maybe just go on one. And then if you feel a deep stretch here, just wait. Try to keep lengthening your spine. Let's not lean forward. Let's not come into a back bend. Just try to lift out of your lower back, find length. And you can just keep lowering, getting to a position where you feel a nice stretch, but you feel supported. You don't feel like, oh my God, you're panicking, you know, the breath is shortening and all of that, or you really can't stay here for long. So make sure you are relatively comfortable, but still uncomfortable to a certain extent. So looking for that good pain, that good stretch, and kind of going away from anything that feels sharp or excruciating. All right, and we will hold. And there are more variations. So if you're here and you're like, I can do more, then maybe you can reach your arms above your head. Trying to square the hips, that's my big issue. And then the next step would be to bend your left knee, and I'm not going to do it today. I do not feel prepared for it. You know, some days are better than others, but you could bend your left knee and try to catch your foot behind your head if you're there today. All right, let's keep holding, trying to find that inner calm. And when you're ready, slowly bringing your weight into your hands, we're going to slide the right leg back. So pushing into the mat with the hands, slowly sliding the right leg back and extending it behind you in three-legged table. Let's bend the right knee, and then just to add some mobility back into the hip, let's circle the right knee in one direction and the other. You can come back to tabletop, tuck your toes. Let's make our way to downward facing dog. Now slowly walking all the way back to the top of the mat. Take a deep breath in, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Notice if you feel any differences between your legs. On your next inhale, let's rise up, high mountain. Exhale, hands to the heart space. Now we're going to step the right foot way back. Coming into star pose, inhale. Squat one time, just bend both knees. Inhale, star. Let's turn the toes in, heels out. Hinge at the hips, fold forward. Maybe grabbing a bind this time around the toes, folding forward, or reaching your arms as far as you can in front of you, keeping the weight in the feet, and then just relaxing the upper body down for this very shortened downward facing dog that feels really nice. Let's hold. Now your hands can come underneath your shoulders wherever you are, halfway lift. Let's walk the hands all the way over to the left and then continue 180 degrees until you're facing the opposite side of your mat. Bend both knees. We're coming into shoelace, slowly sitting down between your heels. Either you stay up here, which is quite a lot of compression in the knees and hips already. If you want to stretch the outer hips a little bit more, you can always lean forward and fold. And never pushing your body too much. So always having a lot of respect for your body, a lot of patience, taking what it gives you, not trying to force it into anything that it's not ready for. And just having a lot of grace and patience with yourself. And you should know this if you practice yoga, that every single time you show up on your mat, it's going to feel different, no matter how experienced you are. There are always going to be days where you're less flexible, or you don't have your balance as much as others. You feel stronger, lighter, heavier. Those days are always going to come in waves. So even if you were intending to come here today and do the splits and it's not happening, just know that that's okay. You'll come back, it'll happen another day, it's fine. Just try not to take it too seriously. Of course, do keep challenging yourself, and that's how we learn, but not being too attached to the outcome. All right, let's slowly straighten the spine. We're pivoting to face the top of the mat. Same thing, this is your own journey, your own pace. So you can use the blocks underneath your hands. You can hang out here in a lunge. You can even stay in a half split if this is already your maximum. Or maybe you don't want to go into the full splits today. Hang out here, no worries. Take your time, move in whatever way feels natural and good to you. And then we will slowly lower onto the block or onto the mat, making sure you feel supported. And do not expect both sides to be identical. All right, and when you're in the splits, try to make sure that your right hip is not opening. So we're trying to keep both hips squared, pointing towards the top of the mat. So if you have to sacrifice a little bit of depth to keep the integrity of the shape, then you can do that. All right, so for this one, I know that I'm not going to be comfortable on the mat, but I'm a little bit too comfortable on the block, so I'm just going to use the blocks under my hands, see if I can lower myself a little bit more without touching the floor, without feeling uncomfortable in my upper body. I feel very nice and supported here. And make sure you keep lengthening the spine, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. And through the breath, trying to find comfort within the discomfort. We're here for 5 more breaths. And then from here, whenever you're ready, in your own time, we're slowly sliding that left leg back into a 3-legged tabletop. Take your time, moving slowly and mindfully. Then you can go ahead and bend your left knee and just circle out the left hip. And maybe switching directions. From here, we're going to come into child's pose. Knees wide apart, big toes together, resting the forehead down on the mat. Slowly making our way into downward facing dog, tucking the toes, lifting the hips up high. And just noticing how the legs feel, how the hips feel. If the legs feel a little longer than they did before. We're slowly going to walk all the way up to the top of the mat. Take a deep breath in, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. And then let's bend the knees, reach the arms forward. Exhale. Let's come all the way down to the back. So dropping the hips on the floor and then one vertebra at a time, lowering down to the floor. Bringing the knees into the chest. Let's squeeze the knees in tightly. Maybe grabbing opposite hand to opposite elbow or opposite hand to opposite wrist. And then we're going to take a twist. Both knees go over to the right. Any leg variation that you want here. And slowly let's come back through center. And then both knees can go over to the left. Last time, coming back through center, let's give ourselves a big hug, lifting the forehead up to the knees, squeezing every single muscle in the body for 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, let it all go. Shavasana, extending your legs out in front of you, your arms alongside your body. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose together. Inhale. And then exhale through the mouth. Allowing your whole body to relax. Noticing your legs in particular. Maybe you feel like they've grown a few centimeters today. With each breath out, allowing yourself to relax a little bit more. Just using this time to allow your body to integrate and absorb all the benefits of the practice that we did. Your own time, you can start wiggling your fingertips and toes. You can start to stretch in any direction that feels good. And in your own time, in your own way, gently come into comfortable seat. Once you're there, I invite you to take a few moments to check in with yourself, noticing how you're feeling right now. Noticing if you feel any subtle shifts in the way that you feel physically and mentally since before the practice. And I invite you to reach the arms above the head whenever you're ready. And then let's bring the hands to the heart space. You can go ahead and rub your hands together. And then let's cover the eyes with the hands. Slowly blinking the eyes open, removing the hands away from the face. And namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. It was a little bit of a different, maybe shorter style of flow. Very focused on stretching the hamstrings, so quite unbalanced. So definitely not something to do every single time that you do yoga. But I hope that you enjoyed it. If you are looking to work on your splits in particular, and yeah, if you did, please let me know. Also, if you would like a full flow with a lot of splits incorporated in it, maybe a more advanced style of practice, let me know. I'm open. If you have any other suggestions of flows that you would like me to film, please let me know. I try my best to come up with new things all the time, but I always appreciate the feedback or the input. All right, have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week. Bye.